Hi, this is author-philosopher Ronald E. Springer of EthicsUnderground.com here to continue the reading of Moral Armor. Chapter 8, Part 5, The Second Phase of a Spirit Murderer's Consciousness, Denial of Mind, Concepts of Irrationality. Please hit like and subscribe before we dive in. It's what people know about themselves inside that makes them afraid. High Plains Drifter. There was a reason our founding fathers said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident." The ancient spiritual conflict has been a battle for control of man's consciousness, and negation of mind is their primary tactic. The spirit murderers have undercut the self-made every step of the way to keep the genie of intellectual sovereignty in a bottle. Like every evolutionary step we have taken, it is a transitional phenomenon in human progress. Life always breaks free to cover new ground, overcoming all forms of oppression and limitation. This time, our enemy is abstract, the hardest to detect, and therefore the hardest to kill. It lies within the minds of men, in the nature of the motives that drive every individual. Parallels of horror in moral thought. The best horror movies grip us, not only by fear of bloodshed, but by suffocating the very essence of our capacity to live. They put us in a situation where our senses are futile and often deceive us. In the darkness, our vision is lost. Every sound gives us away, and we dare not even breathe. There is no rationale in our killer, and no stopping him. There is no shred of humanity we can appeal to, and no one to save us. Our minds cannot reason. The simplest choices result in drastic penalties. We fear every sight and sound, but wouldn't dare miss them. If we move, there is a penalty. If we stop, there is a penalty. To think is to face a terror too overwhelming to comprehend, so we run. We run without end, tired but don't dare sleep, hungry but can't hold anything down, cold, bleeding. Reduced to a panting, quivering mass, to be destroyed at any moment. Helpless, no action we take can get us out of harm's way. At some point our perceptions blur, and we cannot fight any longer. Reaching the exhausted agony that begs to be rid of the burden of life, we give up, and wish to just have it end as painlessly as possible. This dread is at the heart of a fear-driven man, and a spirit murderer is the state to which he intends to bring you. Regardless of motive, by following him, there would be no other choice. There are many key parallels between what elicits the deepest feelings of horror in human beings and the moral doctrines we have all been taught. Reading the Bible, you see the lure of unearned rewards, everlasting bliss, unlimited power over men and nature, the ability to throw mountains around, and you get it all just for believing. You can see its shysters coming a mile away, shouting, "Free this, free that, free, free, free," as the lemmings gather at their knees. In an uncertain realm, they promise the certainty of no judgment, no effort, and nothing to worry about. But life doesn't work that way. Easing into it, aren't the traits they expound exactly wrong for human beings? No man of esteem would want something for nothing. Freebies don't conjure that lecherous grasping reflex in us as it does in the fear-driven. These are benefits only a parasite would long for, someone afraid of living, and those who follow give up their minds and deepen their own helplessness as a result. If a man decides that working is just too much trouble and needs a living safety net as a result, that is his for the taking as well. Its immoral political equivalent is altruism. Forget about your needs. I'll take care of them while you live for me, and in united poverty, we'll starve to death. It takes the form of social systems set up in countries that claim will provide much more wealth to the people than is possible in America, and ends up doing just that for the politically connected 1%, and slaughters the rest. Between the presently declared standards of morality, the choice is to die on the vine or to be consumed. Whether such premises are generated by a church or a dictatorship, standards that take everything a man loves while he lives and leaves him for dead have a common enemy, the mind, and the same result, stagnation and destruction. Furthermore, they all stem from a single source, an individual's choice of default. Most iterations of evil have followed the same pattern, which is the inversion of the non-sacrificial code self-made man has defined. The pattern of a fear-driven consciousness is 1. Panic in response to existence. 2. Intellectual retraction or evasion. The third step in this pattern is destructive action. And finally, the fourth and final step is the penalty. He considers fear as the deciding factor of his welfare or injury, and makes it the center of his focus, a target not to hit, but to avoid hitting, maneuvering to skim by unscathed. As he is always focused on fear, it is always near. Aware or not that his very actions are what cause him to be defenseless, this is what he propagates and brings into the lives of others. The irrational wishes of a fear-driven man are at the root of every human evil at every level. Slavery, welfare, Nazism, white lies, all are ways around facing what one fears. Independent men need not make victims of others. The bloodiest regimes, the most savage crimes, and the painful lives of lost dreams all began with a helpless slug at their core. That's all for now. Next up is Death Premises. I split these videos up by subject so you'd have a better chance of finding moral armor, and then perhaps go through the whole thing for free. Why? To help create a leader in every life. Sound civilization stair steps up from sound coherence to sound individual to productive groups of mature individuals. Self-hatred drives fear-driven people in our world to wipe out the individual, so we all need moral armor to protect ourselves and the future of mankind. Click subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you'd like to help wipe out moral confusion fast and make the world a better place.